You're listening to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio Network.
Here we go now. 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 All right, enough of that. Welcome back to the Kempire channel. Let me know if you could hear me, see me. All the things. We're live on Twitch. We're live on Facebook. We're live on X. We're live on YouTube, of course. Let me know where you guys are watching from. Angel's watching from the Bay Area. Inferno Pyre is watching from Hong Kong. What's going on? Bay Area's in the building. Cute Potatoes watching on Twitch. What's going on Twitch, friends? Don't forget, guys, on Twitch, we are I'm streaming in 4K on YouTube, but apparently 4K looks so much better and sounds better on Twitch. So make sure you guys are following me on Twitch. Thank you, Kendra. Kendra is one of our producers. She says, yes, we can hear and see you. Thank you. Or we can see and hear you. Thank you. This is our weekly recap of the Real Housewives of Potomac, guys. If you had to rate this week's episode from 1 to 10, how would you rate it? I'm engaged. I don't feel like this is their worst season. I'm not going to say it's their best season, but I think it's a decent season when it comes to Real Housewives of Potomac, especially when it comes to momentum and what we're building up to. And probably the only reason why I feel this way is because I know what's to come. And that's not just for Wendy. There's also the releasing of Karen Huger and the one-on-one with Karen Huger. So I know that there's good things to come. And what we are getting so far is not bad. It's not bad. It's interesting enough, especially on a Sunday where we only have Married to Medicine. Sorry, but not sorry. It's the truth. We will be recapping Married to Medicine at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. PST today. All right, so stay tuned for that, okay? Look, Inferno, y'all know my little triggers, don't you? Look, I'm telling you, the villain era is slowly but surely melting away, okay? It's slowly but surely melting away, all right? Inferno says, is this pre-recorded joke? It's all right. Y'all know I'm not pre-recording this one. Come on now. Now, Married to Medicine? No, that will be live as well. I know. All right, shout out to everyone watching. Toronto's in the building. I love it, love it, love it. Philly's in the house. What's going on, Philly? London, what's going on, girl gone abroad? Wait a second. Are you not from London? Where are you from, girl gone abroad? All right. Okay. I was about to say, Wave Keith says Antarctica. I mean Chicago. Keith, are you regretting moving there? No, Keith's like, I got a man to keep me warm. Oh, fine. Look, fine, Keith. Fine. All right. Hey, Melissa, shout out to Melissa. Melissa hold us down on Facebook. Shout out to our Facebook massive that watches there. Hey, Melissa's been watching. Melissa, how long you been watching? Since the pandemic, right? It's been a long time. And Melissa has watched faithfully on Facebook. But I think you also watch on YouTube at times too, right? All right. Rainy Circus is watching on Twitch. Love it. Shout out to our Twitch fam. All right. Louisville's in the building. Kentucky. What's going on? BKE. All right. BKE says Kentucky in the crib. Welcome on, SEM. What's going on? Winnipeg's in the building. What's going on, Winnipeg? All right. And if you're part of the replay crew, I want to know where you're watching from too. Also, let me know what temperature it is where you are. I'm in New York. The temperature here is below freezing. We had, 2-3 inches of snow over the weekend. I don't mind it because I don't have to be out in it. I don't have to commute in it anymore. Okay. TJ says, when are you taking a safari trip? You mean when I go to Africa or where? Like, because, I've done safari trips before. I've done safaris in India and Nepal. But I would like to, especially when I go to Africa, I do a safari there. It's cold in Atlanta? Damn, that means the United States is frozen. Oh, wait a second. Angela says that, hey, Kempire, Houston, Texas is cold. What is going on? Well, I do want to say this, a couple of things, because there was a lot of news over the weekend, a lot of very just disheartening news when it comes to GUN violence in this country and around the world, what happened at Brown University, what happened in Sydney, Australia. It is also the Hanukkah season. Happy Hanukkah to those that celebrate. Then we found out late last night that Rob Reiner and his wife were unalived by their son. Their son has now been arrested in connection with their unaliving, and he's being held on $4 million bail. I went down a little bit of a rabbit hole yesterday in covering that story. We did do a couple of short form videos letting you guys know about that story. Okay. And Rob Reiner did a movie that he worked on with his son, and it was very close connected with his son's substance abuse journey and things like that. I don't know what happened in the family over the weekend, but let's pray for Rob Reiner's family, because I can't imagine, especially with the Hanukkah holiday starting, the holidays about to come around the corner. So prayers to anyone that might be just not feeling the best around the holidays. I know this can be a triggering time for a lot of people with the political news, with everything that's happening in the news. Hopefully this live, we can take a little bit of a break from that news and have a good kiki and laugh. There will be a few moments that we will kiki and we will laugh, okay? And there will be a few moments where we might be a little annoyed, okay? But okay. All right. Happy Hanukkah. Happy holidays. Christmas is 10 days away. No. Good thing. Have you done your... Oh, no. Have you done your Christmas shopping? Have you done your Hanukkah shopping? Just saying. All right. All right. Let's get into this. I'm going to be twerking on a fence because there's so many sides to be seen here. Look, who's the only person that's left that's somewhat likable, because I don't think she's 100% likable. I think she's having a really great season, is Stacey. Because everyone, I'm just looking at them like, you're just happy to be a part of the Mean Girls clique, or you're mad that you're no longer a part of the Mean Girls clique. So we shall see. We shall see. We're going to talk about this. All right. At the very top of the episode, Tia is hosting a polo event. Dr. Mimi, this is a real polo event with horses. Remember last week for Married to Medicine? And she hosted the premiere episode, she hosted a polo event with no horses. Well, Tia's hosting something. It's a work event where they play polo. So she talked about, polo is a major part of her social scene growing up. Okay? This is what they want us to believe about Tia and the way that she grew up. But the timeline for me, Tia, is not necessarily adding up. I definitely think you started off with some money, but you said by the time the 80s were over, the money was gone. And if we're doing the math when it comes to your age, look, just saying, I'm not saying that you didn't grow up that way. I'm just saying it's not necessarily feeling like 100%. And that might not even be your fault, Tia. It could be production just really clipping all the things that they want to highlight because they want Potomac to be now of, people with money, because so many of the fans, a lot of the fans do not watch Potomac for that, but they want that to be Housewives, where certain people, the upper echelon kind of thing. Okay. So Tia's hosting this event, her work event, and she has invited everyone except Stacey. Rightfully so, because Stacey kicked her out of her event last week. We talked about that. We're not going to revisit it at this particular situation. But apparently, not only she invited Stacey originally, but she disinvited Stacey. Okay. Jean, beautiful photo. Jean says, Tia is trying to give us Downton Abbey, and I'm not buying it. I bought it in the beginning. I'm not sure if I'm buying it now, just because as things play out. Okay. Right. Portia, I thought the same thing, but I wanted to hear more from him. Portia says, how come her brother doesn't have a British accent? I wasn't sure. I thought I was like hearing things. I was like, wait a second. She said he lives in Long Island. I don't know how long he's lived in the States. I don't know if he just assimilated. I don't know. But I'm not falling for you guys when you say that you believe that Tia is faking her accent. I'm like, why would you guys think she's faking her accent? I don't think that's up for debate that she grew up in England. But I did notice the brother. I was like, wait a minute. The brother's accent. I wanted him to talk a little bit more because I wasn't sure. So I wasn't the only one? I wasn't the only one? Okay. And Watson says, I'm sure Stacey doesn't care that she was disinvited. Look, in reality, these housewives want to film. They want to film as much as they can. So I do think on some level, Stacey did care that she wasn't invited to the event. In the now looking back at it and seeing how people feel about her on the show, I think she doesn't care. But looking back at it during the season, when you don't know what they're going to include and what they're not going to include, and word on the street is that a lot of them were not filming with her. So, okay, LW says the brother had zero accent. Okay, so it wasn't me. All right. Okay, Paulina says maybe he lived in the U.S. longer. We don't know. I don't believe that these folks are faking that. Okay, Leah says, not the British deception. Oh, damn. Superstar 7 says her accent is definitely fake and forced. Really? Oh my God. Wait, Keisha, I think Tia is heightening her accent, but she may still have it. Y'all are so funny about this. I don't believe that. I'm going to die on this hill, okay? The same way I said that Marisol doesn't have a drinking problem.
Lies! The lie!
I'm going to die on this hill, okay? Paula says, not polo without horses. How dreadful. We're talking about Dr. Mimi's event from Married to Medicine. Okay, let me focus because we do have a lot to get into, and I know you guys want to call in and share your thoughts when it comes to the Real Housewives of Potomac's latest episode. We're already on episode 11, so we're almost halfway through the season. And I know they're already probably scrambling on how they're going to include the Wendy of it all, okay? And, of course, they're going to include Karen Huger as well. Kira says the Black Dorit. No, because at least we know. The way it keeps says the hill is crumbling down. At least we know with Tia, she actually grew up in England. Okay, I don't think. Am I gonna have to die on this hill? All right, let me focus. All right, so the polo event. Let's get to the polo event. Okay, so Jazzy says that she's going to need solid proof that her friend Stacey is a liar because they bring up in the sprinter, Ashley brings up in the sprinter about Stacey only going to Jazzy's wedding because Wendy and Ashley decided to go. And look, as I just said, a lot of these housewives just want to be a part, okay? They just want to be able to film. So part of me thinks that Look, part of me thinks that, yes, that could possibly be true. But I don't think that they have solid proof. You know what I mean? Nothing that they've said so far about Stacey just going to Jazzy's wedding is solid proof. And I watched the after show, and I think over time, Jazzy has fallen for what they've been putting in her head. She's been riding with Stacey this entire season, but word on the street, they have their own falling out. And I'm wondering if the falling out is because of this. Because you saw in the after show, it seems as if Jazzy has fallen for it. But there's no solid proof. What is the proof that that's the reason she went to your wedding? There has been no solid proof, not in the after show, not during the season. What is the proof? But it seems as if Jazzy may have fallen for it because we saw it throughout the entire season. We saw Giselle, we saw Ashley, you saw Kiarna, all of them trying to get everyone on the same page about how they feel when it comes to Stacey. And I'm just not falling for it. And it's not because I don't think that Stacey is a little bit of a liar. And look, come on.
Lies! The lie!
It's not because I'm falling for it. No, y'all. Please understand. What I don't like is the fact that no one has solid proof. If you had solid proof, I would be there with you. But I feel like Jazzy has fallen in line. But again, I don't know what happens later on in the season between Jazzy and Stacey. Stacey did 2 months before this episode apologize to Jazzy for not being a better friend. And I was like, that was interesting. Like what? What exactly did Stacey do in regards to not being a better friend? But Jazzy, I have to say, in this part of the episode, it seems like she was riding with her friend. She's like, I'm going to need you guys to give me solid proof that my friend is a liar. She does end up having another conversation with Ashley at the polo event, but we'll get there. So Ashley asked Jazzy if she knew that Stacey wasn't going to come to the wedding if Ashley and Wendy didn't go. Jazzy says that Stacey said that she had to move around a lot of things in order to be there. Again, I don't know if I believe that, but again, they don't have solid proof. All they're saying is speculation. Where is your proof? Unless Stacey said to you, like, girl, I'm not going to Jazzy's event unless it's being filmed. If she said that to one of you, then I'd be like, okay, well. But again, Ashley, Giselle, they're not very credible. I could see them at the reunion and say, you told me that you weren't going unless it was filmed. Because where did you guys even get it at this? Like, where did that come from? Did she say it to someone else? Fiery says, something happened, but they need to give it a break. I agree. It's not landing. And I think when they're filming, because they don't know what's going to be, edited in, taken out, context, whatever it may be. I think during the season, I think they thought Ashley, Giselle, Kiarna, I think they thought that it was going to be like, oh, we're coming for Stacey's season. Everyone saw that she's a liar, blah, 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 blah. And now it's falling flat with the fans. If anything, it's made the fans and Andy Cohen love her even more. Did you guys watch What Happens Live last night? I saw it briefly. I saw a few of the different moments from Watch What Happens Live. Kiarna, beautiful gown steward. That's all I got. Fell flat again on Watch What Happens Live. Beautiful, though. Beautiful face, beautiful hair. The fashions are fashioning. Not enough to want me to keep her around. That's it. That's all. But back to this. Wendy says that Ashley will find her next husband here because they're the only black people at the event. I saw one other black girl. I don't know. Look, I don't know what her role there. I'm guessing maybe she's probably the only other one there. All right. So Wendy says that Ashley should be able to find her husband here because she likes an old whiter man, if we're being honest, and with some money. So we find out in this scene that they're going to sing the national anthem for the group that are there. And they're going to sing the Black national anthem. We also find out that Angel is a trained opera singer. And they show a little bit of moment with Angel singing. Ooh. I mean, she sounded good. And during the after show, she actually does sing for us. She sings 100 times better than Ashley. Ashley was so offended when Tia asked Angel. She was like, Tia, you didn't think to ask me? No.
Lies! The lie!
I'm glad she didn't even consider you. And why were you holding the mic? Put the mic in the real singer's hand. They talk about that during the after show as well. And they were trying to dog out Angel again in regards to her, everyone's saying that she's a singer, but I barely heard her sing. Tia defends her in that moment because Tia really does like Angel. And she was like, days leading up to, she did tell me that she had like a sinus infection and things like that. On the after show, we've heard Angel sing. She can definitely sing. 1,000 times better than Ashley Darby. And even though those moments when Ashley Darby sounds like, oh, okay, Ashley, you can sing a little bit, she still sounds 10 times better than Ashley. Okay. All right. And we didn't know that Angel was a singer or opera singer. Okay. But apparently she wasn't feeling well. But here's the thing. Even if she was feeling 100%, I could understand on camera singing in front of these women that have not been friendly to her. I can understand her being nervous as a singer myself. Not all singers, especially if you have not made it to that point in your career where you're a well-known singer. It wouldn't shock me that she was nervous to sing around these folks because she could also want to be like perfect in front of these folks because they've been so hard on her. Okay, so I can understand her probably being a little intimidated. It's like, let me not sing in front of these people because then they're going, make it a thing, which they end up trying to do during the after show, trying to make it a thing. Giselle's like, I didn't hear her sing. I was standing right next to her. I could barely hear. She was like, I was like, okay. So they end up singing the National Black Anthem. It's not lost on me that Ashley's like, there's a national black anthem. There's a black national anthem. And then she has the nerve to talk about Stacey possibly putting raisins in the potato salad. Girl, we're concerned that you're going to put raisins in the potato salad. You didn't know there's a black national anthem? Okay. See, if you were Tia, I get it. If you're Jamaican, I get it. Because that's unless you grow up in America, you probably you grew up in America. So, and you grew up in like the DMV. Okay, look, I'm just saying. I'm not. I just thought it was really interesting that you of all people are questioning whether Stacey's going to put raisins in the potato salad, and you don't even know that there's a Black national anthem. And some of y'all, if y'all don't pay attention, I watched this thing multiple times. I watched it 3 times. That's why I was late, because I was watching it a second time this morning. Because I there's little things that are said. If you're not paying attention, you're going to miss. Okay. Hey, Marilyn. Marilyn was watching with me on X earlier. Marilyn says, Ashley's white is more white adjacent than regular Robin. Hey, Robin. Yeah. Okay. Oh, look. Butterfly Soldier says, I'm Canadian, and even I knew about the Black National Anthem. Oh, my goodness. No, I did not see AJ's interview. Osing Yao says, Kempire, did you see AJ's interview? I love how he is so fair to the ladies, but goes hard for Stacey at the same time, which I can appreciate. I can definitely, but a good best friend is going to still hold you accountable, but also, to be able to see all sides of the situation. Okay. Let me focus. Okay. So they sing the Black National Anthem. How'd you think? I think they did fine. It didn't do anything amazing. It was interesting watching the folks watch them sing this. They're probably like, "Ooh, this is a different anthem. We'd never heard this one." Okay, and I thought it was interesting that Wendy decided not to sing it, but she was the conductor. She was the conductor for them. All right. Then they play this. Look, we've watched enough reality television to know a little bit about polo. Okay. So they're filling it's the moving of the divots, or the stomping of the divots. There we go. But Wendy's just like, oh, well, they don't got people to do this. No, why do we have to do this? Child, every little thing that Wendy does, I know I said I was going to come into the season and try and have an open mind. And I have an open mind. But it's also hard not to see these little things that harken back to what she's facing currently. I can't help myself, because then I'm thinking to myself, is she planning to return this outfit, or is this outfit rented? Is that why she doesn't want to step on the thing? I mean, she said it was because of the poop, and I get it. And she's also wearing all white. But there's a part of me, a small part of me, that's thinking, wait, maybe this is borrowed, which is not unlikely. And to be honest with you, Housewives, I'm not saying this that you should buy all this stuff to front for the cameras. If you're getting a stylist during the season and they're just styling you for events and stuff like that, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Okay? I don't think there's anything wrong with it. But look. So that's what. Well, TJ says her optics are her enemy. I'm just like, okay. Paulina says Wendy's arrogance is even more evident now. Wave Key says I would be stomping no poop. Put me in. They're not stomping poop. There's poop on the ground because of the horses, but they are stomping the grass back into place. That's the stomping of the divots. So they're not stomping on poop, but fried. Exactly. Most housewives borrow clothes. Like, I know that, but it's hard for me not to think that was the motivation. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with it. Please understand me saying this. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with it. Okay. I'm just, for me, I'm like, is that the motivation? But okay. Exactly. Yes, Breeze. Nothing's wrong with it, especially if you plan to wear it once. And based off of how these housewives move, they only wear these outfits once. Me personally, I'll be wearing the same thing over and over again. Y'all see my outfits all the time, over and over. Even though I don't wear my best stuff in here, I could, but I'm like, I wear that when I go out. Like, I have some really nice sweaters. I need to, though, because I don't go out enough. But I own these sweaters, okay? But these sweaters aren't from, Louis Vuitton, YS7. No, okay? I love me a good BR moment, all right? And every once in a while, a good Gap moment. They have some good... Well, Gap has fallen off a little bit. I used to love me a good Gap moment, but some of their stuff I haven't gone in a while because I'm really in love with my BR lately. But I've gone in and I'm like, Gap used to have some nice sweaters and like holiday like pajamas. Maybe they do. I haven't seen their holiday pajamas for this year. Has anyone any good pajamas? I should get me some holiday pajamas. Yay. Okay, let me focus. All right. But yeah. Right? Kristen says, I mean, did they watch Pretty Woman? Remember that? Mm-hmm. Yep. All right. Before we move on, let me say thank you. We did get a couple of super chats. Guys, don't forget to keep liking the video. We have over 1,000 of you here, and we're not even at 500 likes. I'm not dropping the call-in link for the general audience until we get to 1,000 likes. Excuse me, because a lot of y'all sitting here watching and not liking the video. I don't get it. Obviously, you like what you see here. Do you not want me to show up on your 2025 one of the channels that you watch? Is that what's happening? Either way, you're still watching. Shout out to everyone that's been tagging me in their 2025 wrap up for YouTube. I appreciate it. Kendra, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. Kendra says, we volunteer Ashley as tribute with her singing. All we ask for is freshly squeezed mango juice and a delicious pasta dish. Oh, that sounds delicious, Kendra. I love a good pasta dish and mango juice. Speaking of India, I had some really good juices when I went to India a few years ago. And yogurts. Sorry. And in Nepal. Noda Queen, thank you so much for being a member and for the super chat. Noda Queen says, Ashley PMO, Ashley to PMO because she can afford a vocal coach. She may never be a vocalist, but they can help her find a key at least. You know what? Mr. Melvin Magic has updated his photo. OMG. Thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. He says, free Pam and fire Ashley. Pam said, what's your SSN, social security number? Count. You don't leave her alone. Okay. I love how I threaten y'all and we're already at 400 likes. Oh. Thank you, Classy. Classy says, speak, Kempire. I checked the thumbs up. Thank you. Thank you, Classy. Shout out to all our members. I see a bunch of our members. Hey, Melissa. Melissa's watching on Facebook. Melissa says, you were my number one in my 2025 YouTube wrap-up. Thank you, Melissa. Appreciate that. Shout out to, though, I understand I'm not everyone's number one, but if I'm in your top 5, let me know. Thank you so much. All right. Let me focus back at this polo event that Tia is hosting, okay? So they sing the Black National Anthem, fine. They do the stomping of the divots. Jazzy pulls Ashley to the side to talk about Stacey's attendance of her wedding. And Ashley says that she hopes that Stacey doesn't do anything to violate Jazzy's trust. Do you see what she's doing here? She has not let this go. They talked about this. They put this to bed when they were in Nevis. However, months later, okay, maybe not months, weeks later, we are talking about this wedding thing again. And you can see that Jazzy the wheels are starting to turn for Jazzy. Like, well, maybe it was true. And again, we're watching an edited show. Maybe more was said. Maybe more was done. I don't know. Okay. Hey, Patricia. Patricia says you are on my 2025 wrap up, Kempire. Thank you so much. Okay. Gene, you can find your YouTube wrap up if you go to your notifications. They should have notified you at some particular point. Okay. Hold on. Kevin says vocal coaches can't make miracles either, though. Did we forget Kim Zolciak? You know what can make miracles, though? The studio. Just saying. Because I remember being in the gay club back in the day when Tardy for the Party came out. You couldn't tell me that wasn't a hit. That song, Candy, and that auto-tune and what she did. Okay, Inferno says you are my top 2. Thank you. That used to hit in the club. Don't be tardy for the party. I mean, the background vocals were Candy, though. All right. Okay. All right, hold on. All right, Josh says, if it weren't for your YouTube camp, I wouldn't know so many Black creators, so thank you. And this is why I say like the video. I know some of y'all think I'm doing that for selfish reasons. Not really. To be honest with you, I appreciate it, but you watching is how I get paid. Ad revenue. That's how we get paid here on the channel. So I always tell you the benefit of liking my video will show other content creators, even content creators I don't know, will start to show up on your Explorer page. And then you discover someone like, oh, I like that person. The way that you probably found me was from liking someone else's video. Just saying. Paulina says the ring didn't mean a thing. Okay, that wasn't as much of a hit, but Tardy for the Party was great. Rita, we know. Rita came all the way from Europe to New York for my live show. So if I would have been shocked if I wasn't your number one. Rita says you are my number one, the one and only Apple Podcast too. And Rita, you don't even have an Apple phone, right? I think you listen on the website. Rita's okay. Hold on. I'm trying to see if I can pronounce this name. Longile? Am I just making that up? Because I see a bunch of letters. You're my number one, Kemp. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right, let me focus before we get lost. But I appreciate it. If replay crew, be sure to let me know too. Okay. So Ashley and Jazzy talk about this, and Ashley's like, Stacey was great at the wedding. We had a really good time. I saw that's the side of Stacey that I really enjoy. But then there's this other side of Stacey. And I believe that there might be this other side of Stacey. It's just not landing for us, guys. It's not landing for the audience because we do not see what you guys necessarily see. And everything that you bring up has nothing to do with you personally. What has Stacey done to you personally for you to be so mad at her and constantly coming for her? It doesn't make sense. And now they're trying to get Jazzy on their side, and it seems to have worked. But again, in all fairness, I don't know if there was something else that happened between Jazzy and Stacey. And remember, Stacey, a couple of months before, apologized to Jazzy for not being a better friend, which made me kind of go, And then when I was in the DMV and Stacey came up on stage, she talked about talking with Jazzy right before coming to the show. She was even trying to bring Jazzy to our live show in DC. So I was just a little shocked that they may have had a falling out. All right. Exactly. LW says the evidence isn't apparent enough for the audience to go against Stacey. And I think the audience is open if there was solid information, but there isn't. RC says that Ashley's manipulating Jazzy. That's the way it feels. That's exactly how it feels. And they've been doing this over time. Because remember, they first brought this up in Nevis. And we were like, okay, where did that come from? And I love the fact that Jazzy and Stacey didn't fall for it in Nevis, but it seems like Jazzy might be falling for it now. Especially if you watch the after show. But again, we don't know what could have happened between Jazzy and Stacey. I would have much rather see them hold it together, but again, I don't know what happened offline. I'm willing to hear what happened, because then I'm like, okay, well, there it goes. Because, I've had my own little thing with Stacey, nothing deep like that. But you know the situation. So, fine. Moving on. So, Ashley talks to Angel. So, they're ending out this event, and they talk about Angel being more open to the group and being more included, and Angel not feeling included in the group. Ashley says that she doesn't think that Angel made an effort, though, to talk to other people in the group. And I think that is because you see at the event, Angel was just talking with Kiarna. She really wasn't mixing and mingling with the rest of the group. Okay, but that's not necessarily a reason to be so mad at Angel. So Angel was a little blindsided. She was a little blindsided when Ashley said that. I don't know why we're getting so much of Ashley these last couple of episodes, but please stop. I don't care what Ashley thinks or says. I'd much rather see less of her, to be honest with you. But that's me. All right. 18 hours later. We flash forward to 18 hours later, and Angel is packing up her Airbnb. That's apparently what it is, because based off that text message, for anyone that ever had an Airbnb, that's the message that you normally get from the host, like when your time is about to be up. Based off that text message that Angel shared, it seemed as if she was an amazing guest, but her time is up and she has to hightail it out of there. So Kiarna and Tia go over to her house. I don't know if they knew that this was happening, but they acted surprised. They're like, what's happening? So she and Bobby are packing up. She and Bobby are packing up. Hold on, I gotta send something to myself, because I meant to send this to myself, because we got to talk about Bobby in a second. We got to talk about Bobby. In a good way, Bobby. Calm down. I know you watch. Hey, Bobby. Hey, Angel. I got y'all back, though. I got y'all back. Maybe a little bit. Just a little bit. All right. So they're packing up. They rented out this place. We knew. She said from the beginning that this place was a rental. I don't think we realized that it was a rental of everything, like the furniture. The only thing that they had there was their clothes. If this was like a few years ago, I would probably be like, oh my God, this is so a mess. But we've known housewives move to new cities to be a part of that city. Not saying that's what's happening with Angel, because Angel does have roots in the DMV. We've seen housewives rent properties all the time. Okay? We've seen that. Meredith Marks rents every season. They make a big joke about it. What rental is she going to be in this season? What doesn't land for me is the way that Angel responds to it. Because the way that Angel responds to it gives there's something shady going on. As opposed to, it's an Airbnb. We only rented it. I thought we rented it for this period of time. But that's not what it was. Pageant Mommy says Airbnb and a rental are different. I agree. That's why I was like, wait, is this an Airbnb? Which, again, sometimes people do. I've thought about it. I've thought about going abroad and getting an Airbnb for a short period of time and working from abroad. I've thought about it. So I don't see a difference here. I don't think it's a big deal. But for me, what stood out was the way that Angel responded to it. Because the way that Angel responded to it was giving like, wait a minute, like, why are you're acting kind of funny about it? Exactly. Sajums says that she's very defensive when she doesn't need to be. Okay. Lene says, Kempire, not months on end. No, people have done that. They have done months on end Airbnbs. You can do long-term rentals like that. But when she originally said that it was a rental, I was like, oh, but if it's a rental, you're not just get up and hightailing it out. Like you have to run and leave. So something is fishy about that. But I'm not going to be here and be like, oh, Angel and Bobby don't have the money, like they're broke. I'm not going to say that. Because then I had to go down a deep dive because I was like, wait a second. He was a part of the NFL, and you know I don't know anything about sports, and we haven't talked about his career, and you guys can let me know about his career. But I just wanted to know how much money Bobby Massey made over the years. His career earnings through 2025 were $38,646,758. They ain't broke. I also watched their Homeworthy, and I knew they weren't broke from that. Okay? Because just the amount of details that he put in, because even if it was like a cheaper home, just the details of what they put into that home, I was like, they're not broke. Did they move back to Potomac so that she could have this opportunity? I believe that. What just wasn't landing for me was the way that Angel responded to it. Because Angel was like, it was giving like, yeah, it's you were moving kind of funny. So she explains this to Tia and Kiarna. And Tia volunteers. She's like, you know, are you working with a realtor? Because she says the only reason why she even got this short-term lease or rental, Airbnb, whatever you want to call it, the only reason why she did that was because they were looking to buy a house. So to me, that makes complete sense that you would get something short-term. It just was her reaction that was like, is that the real reason? And you know what else didn't land for me? And this is why it's important to pay attention. Because when Tia volunteers her services and Bobby finds out that she works for Sotheby's, I was like, wait, is she really working with a realtor? Because Bobby said Zillow. Does Zillow have realtors that you can hire? Let me know, because I'm not going to sit here and act like I know everything. Let me know. Does Zillow have realtors that you can work with, like you normally work with? Like if I went to a Sirhant or a Douglas Elliman, is Can you do that with Zillow? Because the way that Bobby said it was like they're looking on the websites themselves and contacting. That's the way that, because Bobby was just like, yeah, well, we could be doing Sotheby's and you got us looking through Zillow? Am I crazy? Okay, some of y'all said yes, I think they do. All right. See, I don't know. I didn't want to. But would you necessarily go to Zillow if you can go to Sotheby's? Okay, Ari Mac says yes, they do. See, I don't want to assume. Okay. But would you go to a Sotheby's or to a Zillow? Right, Olympia, it was the way that Bobby said it that made me kind of go, okay. Olympia says, I heard Bobby say that too. He was like, and we've been on Zillow. I'm just saying. Okay. Let me see something. Narda says, Kempire, Angel's older sister's a Taurus. What are your thoughts? I mean, she's barely been on the show. I really don't have many thoughts. Isn't Angel, it's Angel a Pisces? I can't remember. Miss Esquire, hey. Says, Kempire is giving I own and don't rent, so I know that lifestyle. No. When I was looking for places, I got a realtor from Douglas Elliman. Sorry, that wasn't what I was doing. Don't get me in trouble, Miss Esquire. I really was asking an honest question. Okay? There's nothing wrong. There are plenty of very rich people that rent. We're not that platform over here, okay? There are plenty of rich people that rent. And as I said to you before, Bobby in his career, okay, let's look at his career. Okay, Bobby has made $38,646,758 over his career, starting in 2012, where he was making 800-something thousand. All right? Okay? He got injured in 2020. Then he was active again in 2021. And he got, what, $2.2 million that year. He made a lot of money. Okay, in 2019, he made $9 million that year. So they're not hurting. And then I thought to myself, I was like, wait a minute. So that makes the Massies the richest cast members. They're the richest on this cast. By far. By far, they're the richest on this cast. Who on this cast has made $40 million? I'll wait. Look, I'll wait. And this part too, FK says they already own a home in Colorado. For me, what didn't land was Angel's response. That's what didn't land for me. Because I wouldn't have made it. I think that's where Angel falls flat a lot of the times is her response. Her response makes people kind of go like, Angel is a Pisces. I knew it. So maybe she just can't help her response. You know what I mean? She's emotional. All right. Okay. Kendra says Jazzy's man was a bench warmer. He got rings because he was in the Chiefs. We learned that a long time ago. Remember, Miss Sharon taught us. So Bobby is paid. They already own a home in Colorado, a beautiful home. So, and then the whole thing with Wendy later on with the eviction, I was like, okay, now y'all just putting more sauce in the situation. Now y'all putting sauce, but we will get there because I have thoughts. But word on the street, Bobby Massey made nearly $40 million in his career. Is that what he took home? Probably not, between agents and taxes and things like that. But here we are. Hold on. Hey, Keisha. Keisha with the T or the Kempire, not to count their pockets, but sometimes in the NFL, that's what the contract will say. But if injured, they do not get the full payout. Either way, even if he didn't get the full payout, they are multimillionaires. That's why I said after everything and depending on what he ends up getting, I'm sure they're not hurting. I'm sure they're not hurting. Oh, okay. All right. Hold on. Brittany says, yes, I bought a house a few months ago. And congratulations, first of all. She says, I just bought a house a few months ago and I found my realtor through Zillow. So Zillow doesn't necessarily have the realtors. They're realtors that work for other brokerages. Is that because that's what I was assuming? I was like, is that how they found the realtor? Could be. All right. But it's fine. Exactly. Miss Esquire says, but if he took home half, they are doing better than most of the thousandaires on this show. Point blank, period. I love that we're talking sports now in the chat. Hold on. Matt Hatter says, well, according to Odell Beckham, who was making $100 million a year and now crying broke, that's not far for an NFL player, so I don't know. Well, how is he spending his money as well? We see what Adele does with his money, or somewhat. He's, all the lavish. Like I don't know Bobby's career, but even the way that Bobby moves, he doesn't move like he's wearing the Louis Vuitton and this and that. But who knows? Who knows? Who knows? I just wanted to point this out to all of us because it's very easy for us to be like, uh-oh, do we have another broke housewife? Okay. Amanda says, I love we're talking sports. Sexy. A lot of NFL players are notoriously bad with money and go broke after they retire. OBJ was just saying $100 million doesn't last forever, but hopefully Bobby managed his coins better. Because remember, that was the same thing that Andy Cohen assumed of Chris Samuels. And at the time in season 5, Monique was just like, yeah, that's what he was making, but he's had investments, he's done this, he's done that. I'm just letting you know, over his career, word on the street is that he made nearly $40 million, Bobby Massey. So even if he's, as Miss Esquire said, even if he took home half of that, he's still doing better than this cast, the entire cast. All right, let me say thank you. And I think it's important for us to know that because it's very easy for us, especially when looking at Potomac, like, uh-oh, here we got another broke housewife. I don't know if that's the case here. Okay. It could have been just like, well, let's not invest in getting a property because we don't know if you're going to actually be on this show. Because do we actually want to buy a house in Maryland? What if they don't renew your contract? Because then there's that element. Are they really looking to buy a house? Maybe not. If she ends up being a success on this show, then maybe we'll actually buy a house. It seems as their heart place is in Colorado. Both of them seem to love Colorado more than being in the DMV. And yes, she's from the DMV, and she's addressing that on her threads. We'll get to it in a second. Let me just say thank you. Rita, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. Rita says, your parcel was dispatched last night. Some goodies from Europe cities. By the way, your denim outfit was so cool. Oh, I was about to say, which denim outfit? Oh, that I posted on my Instagram story. Thank you, Rita. That was BR. All that was BR. Shout out to my essay at BR. Thank you, Rita. And thank you, Rita, for gifting. Hold on, Rita. Thank you so much for gifting 5 memberships. If you were gifted a membership by Rita, be sure to say thank you. Thank you, Rita. Sonia, thank you so much for the super chat. Sonia says Wendy needed to keep her outfit in return condition. Honestly, look, I've done a live tour. Not all of the suits, but not this past tour, but the previous tour, the New York show, I had a stylist. So that wasn't my outfit. So I had to be very, you can't damage stuff. That's going back. But during the summer tour, that was all my clothes. Okay. Brought to you by BR. Exactly, Sonia. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I also don't think that people need to tell us their business. If they want to tell us, they tell it. But if you're in a reality show... Heather, thank you so much for being a member for 20 months. Yep, Kempire, you were my number 1 in the YouTube recap. Thank you, Heather. And thank you for being a member for so long. And speaking of being a member for so long, High Vibe has been a member for 51 months. Everyone say happy anniversary to High Vibe. 51 months. That is a little bit over the amount of time that Diddy was sentenced. I'm sorry, that's what came out of my mind. High Vibe, but thank you for being a member for that long. That's over 4 years. Wow. Stacy, because, I love Stacy because of her, I say toodle-doo. That's what Stacy said to Tia last week. High Vibe, thank you so much for the super chat. High Vibe says, Angel is the real liar, not Stacy. She gave a very odd answer. it was the way she reacted to it that made me kind of go like, is that the 100% truth? Not sure. Way of Keith. Keith, what's going on? Thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. Keith says, it's always NFL this, wag that with Angel. She's a broken record at this point because that's the other excuse that she gets. She's like, we're an NFL family, so we're used to moving like this. I'm like, oh, okay. Again, it was her reaction that made me kind of go, all right. It's almost snooty at the same time. I'm like, girl, you can't be that snooty. Why do you have to go back to Colorado when you can just get another Airbnb in the DMV area, right? Unless, I don't know can someone go check right now in Potomac what's available? But what's available now probably wasn't available then, especially in last minute notice. And it would probably I don't know if it's cheaper to go send your stuff back to Colorado, but okay. And she says it was just closed. All right. Keith says, it's always NFL this, wag that with Angel. She's a broken record at this point. Also, a few episodes ago, Angel said they found a home. Or am I crazy? You're right, Keith. They did say they found a home. But just because they found a home doesn't mean that they can move right into them. They got, it's a whole process when buying a home. So, okay. And I will say that there was no mention of that in this episode because they were also working with Tia. Now they're like, oh yeah, we'll enlist Tia, unless they just want to enlist Tia to find another temporary stay while they figure out buying this home. Courtney, thank you so much for the super chat. Courtney says Angel was acting weird and contradicting herself. You can tell they were embarrassed. Okay, so I wasn't crazy. Her reaction is that made me kind of go like, are you okay? Merch available right now, houseofkempire.com. The Speckled one, thank you for the super chat. Speckled one, I asked my husband about Bobby. He knows all things NFL. He said he may be rich, but Bobby is kind of low-ranking player, no rings. Jazzy's husband has 3. He said Chris Samuels is the biggest legend. Well, we Miss Sharon called us. The only reason why Jazzy's husband has the 3 rings was because he was a part of a winning team. It wasn't because he was playing. We wouldn't have known that. I appreciate those of you that watch. I mean, I don't know sports like that, but I appreciate your husband weighing in. He doesn't have any rings, but apparently he was a good player, a decent player to make, he made good money while in the NFL. Kendra, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. Kendra says, financially smart NFL player Chad Ochocinco Johnson embraces being cheap. He flies Spirit and wears jewelry from Claire's. First couple of years of his contract, he lived at the stadium. He might be he might be too cheap. I can understand being frugal, but why are you flying Spirit? Because you can fly any other airline. You don't need to fly Spirit. Now that's just being too frugal. It's not even being frugal, it's being cheap. And someone like that explains a lot about Chad Ochocinco. Because I can appreciate being frugal, but come on, why are we flying Spirit? You could at least fly commercial, but you don't have to fly Spirit. Sorry, Spirit. But not sorry. Okay? Katie, thank you so much for the super. Katie says Bobby fumbled and left Angel uniformed, no control. Oh, uninformed, no control. Is that the way we see it? It seemed maybe this was something that Angel was supposed to be handling and maybe fumbled the handling of it. That's the way it seemed. It didn't seem like he fumbled it, but who knows? Maybe he did. Way of Keith, thank you so much for the super chat. Keith says Ashley gets a few dollars in a dated home. Now she thinks that she can call people broke. Unfortunately, money don't stop her from looking cheap. Katie, thank you so much for another super chat. Katie says, I don't think Angel controls the finances. Maybe she doesn't, but it seemed like it fell more on her. Now. Y'all are too funny in the chat. All right, let me focus, y'all, because I went far left. Okay, so Tia and Kiarna help Angel pack up the house. Okay, and Angel, like I said before, mentions the fact that they're used to moving like this. They're an NFL family. She says she's grateful that they could live a two-state lifestyle. Okay. Tia ends up leaving, and she calls Giselle, okay? And they talk about an upcoming event that Giselle's planning, and she's going to bring all her kids. And she talks about her daughter Alexis being on punishment, and then a flashback look. I know y'all think that Tia's kids are the rudest, okay? But those are some teenagers, so I'm not surprised it doesn't look. Could she be harder on those kids? Probably, because you saw what the son did a couple of episodes ago. So she's not happy with Alexis and how Alexis speaks with her, okay? But then Tia Tia tells Giselle about Angel moving out ASAP. So Giselle says, "Oh, it's giving that she just came here for the show." So they're breaking the fourth wall. So it's giving that Angel just came here for the show. Tia is like, "Oh my gosh, what did I just do?" Giselle says that Angel didn't realize how long that they would be filming for, and that's why she only got the Airbnb for a short period of time. So I wonder how long she got the Airbnb for versus when they started filming, because that's a possibility. Oh, Libra says, does renting an Airbnb qualify as living a two-state lifestyle? Well, remember, she's saying that they're trying to buy a place in Maryland. Okay. Not me. Look, I'm twerking on a fence today. Pajamami says Tia's children are not likable. SEM says the kids are rude. Jean says Tia couldn't wait to report back to her boss. Do you guys think that it was intentional that Tia couldn't wait to tell Giselle? Keep in mind, Tia does like Angel, and she's defended Angel quite a bit during the season, but also in recent interviews. So I don't know. Maybe. All right. So moving on from that scene, Wendy and Eddie take Cameron to this extracurricular activity. So Wendy tells Eddie about this July 4th party that she's planning with Giselle. So they flash back to Wendy in Eddie's office on FaceTime with Giselle. And Giselle says, "Oh, Wendy's making money." Because she's like, "Oh, look at Eddie's office." Like, "Oh, Eddie's making money." Or she said, "Wendy's making money." One of them, she said. And I'm just like, everything just harkens back to the fraud of it all. I'm like, is Eddie making the money? Okay. You know these editors are keeping these moments in. Okay? All right. The Lady Diva says, of course it was intentional that Tia did that. Ivy says, does it matter? Tia's doing her job as a housewife. All right. Asia says that most definitely Tia's the one twerking on the fence this episode. Okay. All right. Okay, so the flashback. Okay, they flashback to that. Wendy says that she didn't stay on budget because they start talking about the home renovations and things like that. So Wendy says that that they haven't stayed on budget when it comes to their home renovations, and that she hasn't even counted. So she's not even paying attention to how much money she's spending. Again, all of this stuff starts making me look at the whole situation just very differently. It's not landing, but they decided to include us into all of this, okay? Exactly. KNC's editing has me cracking up, showing us all the scenes with Wendy talking about money, okay? Mr. Melody Magic says, and Eddie Hennessy is the one that's making money, not Eddie Acefo. Yeah. All right. Okay. So then Wendy says, she got one invoice for $100K, for over $100K. So she sort of stopped counting after that. And then more invoices have been coming in. Okay. So Wendy talks about her dad, because that's Wendy's storyline this season. Do you guys believe that it's real? I mean, I believe it's real in regards to her issues with her dad, but I feel like this just might be a storyline. That's the energy it's giving when she's talking to Eddie about it. So she says she was talking about reaching out to her dad. She said her dad has called her a few times, but she's been scared to pick up because she knows she wants to have this conversation with him. So Eddie and his siblings apparently connect monthly, And Wendy says that Eddie has been a really good source of support during this because of his own family drama. And they flash back to last season where Eddie has reconnected with his family. Okay. Honestly, I would much rather see more of that as opposed to whatever Wendy's talking about when it comes to her dad. But apparently it gets real grimy next week between Wendy and Susan, her mom. You saw the preview for next week. I'm just like, oh no, not Susan cussing Wendy out. Lord, can you imagine when she found out about these charges? Okay, and her monthly stipend might be cut off, allegedly. Uh-oh. All right, so they talk about that. All right, let's get to Stacey and Kiarna sit down. So Stacey and Kiarna, they've been having an issue throughout the season. I saw that Kiarna was, she was just here in New York for Watch What Happens Live, but she was also doing press while here. So she was on the radio with Angela Yee. And I saw some clips of her talking about the issues that she's had with some of the people. And again, just when now you have no reason to be like, oh, it's editing. They're not including the context. So even when she provides the context, it's not landing, Kiarna. We still don't understand why you have an issue with Wendy. We don't understand why you have an issue with Stacey. It's not landing. It's not landing for me. So Kiarna apparently is allergic to cheese, but Stacey ends up ordering burrata. And here's in Stacey's defense, the way that Kiarna sometimes speaks can be a little mumble. Sometimes it can kind of get just a little, you know what I mean? Just a little, like, wait, what did you say? So Stacey is just like, oh, wait, isn't it crazy that I don't know the fact that you're allergic to cheese? So Stacey still orders the burrata, but I didn't see anything wrong with Stacey ordering the burrata. Kiarna made a big deal about it in her confessional, but I was like, you don't have to eat the burrata though. We're at a restaurant. I'm ordering my food unless the smell of cheese gives you an allergic reaction. I didn't understand why it mattered. I can understand when she first said you want to share a burrata, where she's like, no, but that didn't mean she's not going to get her burrata. Okay, I was just like, you are itching to have an issue with Stacey. I don't get it. Who cares? She wants her burrata. She's not allergic to cheese. But okay. And Kiarna then talks about, she's like, when we were in Lake Norman, we had such a good time. They flash back when they wanted to put the two newbies in the bunk beds. And Stacey, remember, that stood out to me. I was like, look at Stacey really handling this like an OG, because she's not going to let them sort of haze her. Okay? Kay is not a lawyer, just chilling. Who said that Kay was a lawyer? Kay, she works in she has like a med spa. She's not a lawyer. Okay. So she's like, we started off really good. We had a really good time. Stacey says that Kiarna started this by calling her a phony and a fraud. Remember at the top of the season? And Kiarna says that Stacey was weaponizing the Deborah incident, the fight. She was weaponizing that against her. And they flash back to these moments where Stacey brings up her, oh, I know you can fight. Because remember, though, one part and Stacey brings this up, okay, you're going out of order. You're not going in chronological order. Like, this all started when you called me a phony and a fraud. But this also, her weaponizing this physical fight started with you, Kiarna. She's like, I can fight. Remember at the Ashley's second bloom? So you started that, Kiarna, based on what we saw on the show. Okay? Based on what we saw on the show. So she says, remember at the second bloom, Kiarna was like, oh, I can fight. And she's like, I know you can. We saw. So you're the first person to weaponize you fighting. And she ran with that in future episodes. So Stacey claims that Kiarna uses her hands a lot. And she was like, I didn't do this. Oh, look, I forgot what gesture that Stacey made. But then when they flash back to Giselle's party, it was actually worse because even though I've said already that I feel like the words that Ashley and Kiarna have been using against Stacey have been really just below the belt, very aggressive in regards to the language that they use. Like they just calling her out her name. And apparently it was also getting like very physical, like where she's like putting her fingers in Stacey's face. And Kiarna's just like, no. And Stacey claims that she'd never called Kiarna violent. However, production adds the point where she does say it when they were in the Sprinter. And she did. But again, who was the first to do it? It was Kiarna. Kiarna was the first to do it, based on what we saw in the show. Kiarna still doesn't see it for Stacey because she's just like, you also are lying about hanging out with Chris Samuels. Stacey has never lied about hanging out with Chris Samuels. She said they've seen each other socially. Kiarna's like, I've seen pictures in her confessional. She says that. She says she's seen pictures. So by the end of their conversation, Kiarna wants Stacey to stop weaponizing that fight incident against her. And Stacey asks that Kiarna give her the benefit of the doubt if she hears something about her. So they agree. They toast to it. And are they better? Probably not. Probably not. All right, moving on. Giselle, Ashley, and Wendy meet up, okay? So these are the long-standing members of the cast. So they meet up to have a conversation, right? This separate scene. Ashley lets us know that she's getting her period twice a month. All right. So Angel sends them a group text, inviting them to Colorado. That's going to be their big group trip. I guess Nevis was supposed to be the big international trip, and now this will be their next big not international. Not their big, they're going to Colorado, okay? Fine, whatever. And maybe the production decided not to do the big trip because the situation with Angel and her housing situation, fine. Superstar 7 says, Kiarna's the girl you befriend because you know she'll fight, or at least try to fight all your battles for you. Really? All right, fine. Look, fine. Guys, we have over 2,000 people. Let's get to 1,000 likes. Let me actually drop the call link before I forget. Let me do that before we get into this scene with Wendy, Giselle, and Ashley. Hold on. Guys, keep liking the video and keep voting in the live chat poll on YouTube. We're talking about the Real Housewives of Potomac. Don't forget, you can also hear our recaps on the Kempire podcast. While you're there, don't forget to give us a 5-star review. We will also be recapping Married to Medicine today at 3 p.m., so stay tuned for that. I have a few thoughts. It wasn't a great episode, but I definitely have a lot of thoughts, okay? A lot of thoughts. So if you're a member of the channel, I'm going to drop the call link for you. If you are a Twitch member, I will be dropping the call link for you guys in just a second as well. Okay, just the Twitch folks. YouTube, let's get to 1,000 likes, and I'll drop the call link for you guys. All right. Let me also say thank you because we had a few super chats. Thank you, baby Babs, for the super chat. We appreciate it. Thank you. It's a cool photo. El My Bell, thank you so much for the super chat. El My Bell says, now we have a great excuse for a cash trip to Colorado. Most NFL players have a home where they're contracted to play in their hometown. Very common. Yeah. And isn't that where he was before? His team was the Denver Broncos, right? That was his last team or something like that. It's a beautiful home. Like I said, I watched their Homeworthy. I loved it because, I love stuff like that. Your Agent Keela, thank you so much for the super chat. Agent Keela says, okay, my boys go to school with wags. Angel acts just like them. It's not that they are mean. They are very guarded. They think every woman wants their man. Pam Oliver can't talk about finances ever. Okay. That's a perspective. I never thought about it. Baby Babs, thank you so much for another super chat. Baby Babs says, started the live late on the Tia accent. I was born in the UK but lived in the US for 9 years. I have a British accent. My brother has an American one. It happens. People thought I faked it too. Thank you for that perspective, Baby Babs. I guess it depends on the person. I told you, I was in London, remember, for my live show a year ago, and just being there for like 2 weeks, I said, please understand, if I lived in London, and it could be also my Jamaican roots as well, because there's a little bit of the, patois as well. I could totally see me having an English accent if I moved to England. But again, maybe it's because of my Jamaican roots. I also don't talk like your, typical New Yorker. You know what I mean? So who knows? Either way, I don't think there's any sort of denying that she is from England. Chef Lorraine, thank you so much for the soup chat and for being a member. Chef Lorraine says maybe Karama was right when he said that she was pulling a stunt on Watch What Happens Live in regards to Wendy. Everybody was mad at Karama for when he said that. Right? Okay, thank you, Chef Lorraine, for another super chat. Squirtle, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. Squirtle says, Special K said, I don't want anything with cheese on it. She didn't say that she was allergic to cheese. She only said it after Stacey ordered it, if you look at the scene. Oh. Well, no, didn't she say it to Stacey? She said it to Stacey. Because remember Stacey said it back. She was like, oh, I didn't know that you were allergic to cheese. Amy J, thank you so much for the super chat. Amy says, Kilolo did start the beef with Stacey. Kilolo. From Martin. Kilolo did start the beef with Stacey when she joined the other sorors. Wow. Yeah. All right. Thank you guys so much. We're almost at 800 likes. Keep liking the video. It's easy, free way of supporting not just my channel, but other channels as well. Don't forget, head on over to the description. We do have a new P.O. box. I am going to go check the old P.O. box, though. We do have a new P.O. box, so be sure to check out the description for those details. And don't forget, we have new merch available. Are You Okay? Merch is now available. It's also a great Christmas gift. And now's the time to order. You only have 10 days till Christmas, y'all. Maybe you're not seeing the person that you love, or they're not going to see you for a while. This is a perfect opportunity to order. Order now. The days are here. All right. Let me get back to my notes. Okay. All right. Okay. So Ashley. Oh, so Angel invites the ladies to Colorado in this scene with Ashley, Giselle, and Wendy. So Wendy asked Stacey to bring the potato salad. This stood out to me because Ashley says it better not have any raisins or grapes in it. Rewinding back to the polo event where Ashley says there's a Black national anthem. Girl, we're concerned of what you're going to put in yours. Okay? And do I believe she actually cooked that catfish? No. She ordered that catfish and put it in a tin. Just saying. Okay. Giselle reveals what Tia told her about Angel getting, quote, kicked out of her home, her Airbnb. So this is where Giselle says that, that's not top tier wag. She's like, Taylor Swift is top tier wag. Do y'all think, because I see that the Kansas City is out of the series for football, do you think the contract between Travis and Taylor is going to be renegotiated? Just saying. But shout out to Taylor Swift. She gave her crew $100 and something million in bonuses for the Eras tour. Her touring crew, like the backup dancers, made like $100 and something $1,000, maybe no more. I don't remember how much it was, but it was a lot of money. She's a good person, but this relationship, I still feel it's fake. Just saying.
Lies! The lie!
I've been saying that since the beginning. But that's me. All right. So Giselle said that Taylor Swift is a top tier wag. Okay. Angel apparently is not. But Angel and Bobby have more money than Giselle. And then the entire cast combined, probably. Not probably. I can say that definitively. I'm going to say that definitively. Okay. CJ says Sierra's top tier wag. She is. Isn't it interesting, though, that that Giselle, that's the one she thought of first, but okay, fine. But Wendy apparently has some tea on Angel. She says that her realtor friend told her that Angel wanted a place that looks like $50,000 a month, but she only wanted to pay $2,000 to $3,000 a month. Well, in all fairness, I would look. I would love a place that looks more than I'm actually paying for it, especially when it's going to be filmed. This wouldn't be the first time. Am I an Angel Massey fan this week?
Lies, the lie.
Am I? Well, maybe a little bit. Not a fan, but maybe a little bit. I'm on her side with this. Wendy, look, so many people have said that Wendy has been waiting for this moment in regards to being a part of the Mean Girls. But at the same time, I said, I'm going to give Wendy a little slack here because of how Angel has consistently come after her this season, when the originator of Angel's beef really should be with Giselle. So I do give Wendy a little bit of leeway here. But the pylon this episode, I was like, okay, Wendy. All right. Because also I don't feel like that's a big deal. Her asking for a place that looks like $50,000 a month and only wanting to pay $2,000 to $3,000 for it. I don't see anything wrong with that. And it definitely was giving, okay, this looks good. Inferno says Kemp being the angel advocate this week. Okay. All right. CJ says, let's add Jackie Christie to the top tier wags. I know that's right. So, yes, in the moment when Wendy says it, they're gagged. They're like, oh my gosh. Oh, no, she didn't. Okay. Oh, thank you, Jamie. Jamie says, Kempire, I bought myself butter for a December birthday gift and I love it. Thank you. Oh, I love that. Yes, guys, you still have your discount code, Kempire10 for 10% off. It is a great gift. I will be giving butter products for the holidays, which I need to order. Damn it. Almost forgot. I need to do my own Christmas shopping. I need to write down my notes. Damn it. Tracy says she deserves a Kempire. Okay. Exact. Dina said the people with dated and tacky looking homes. Yeah, all of them. Look, all of them. Except I do like Ashley's home. But it's just the choice of home. I can't say about the furnishings. Okay. Oh, thank you so much, Miss Brooklyn Diamond. Miss Brooklyn Diamond just gifted memberships. So be sure to say thank you. Thank you, Miss Brooklyn Diamond. Okay. So that was the tea that was spilled at this meeting of the minds with Giselle, Ashley, and Wendy. So Giselle makes a joke before the scene ends and says, I heard that, what did she say? Oh, I heard that Bobby doesn't like Eddie. And Wendy's like, huh? Yeah, I heard he doesn't like the guys. And then she's like, okay, I made that up. Okay. All right. All right, let's get to this final scene. Giselle and Wendy host the Potomac and Ponies party, okay? What did you guys think of this event? The event, I mean, the kids were there. And it looked like it was a bunch of kid events. It definitely wasn't giving high end. It definitely wasn't giving like, okay, this is an amazing party. It was definitely giving like regular Robbins. Remember when she hosted the families event? It was giving that. Okay, but fine. So, excuse me. So Wendy says working with Giselle was interesting because their party planning is very different. She's like, you saw my birthday party last year and Giselle's event planning, and then they go back to the Reasonably Shady event that she hosted it from a few seasons ago when she hosted in her driveway. That one, not the one that they hosted this year. Okay. Pageant Mommy says that Giselle was joking, but okay. I know it was a joke, but it was sort of like, okay. Nora says Jizzy's being herself. All right. So Wendy told us that she was bringing Popeye's chicken, but maybe she didn't tell Giselle this because Giselle's like, not Wendy bringing Popeye's chicken. And I'm like, okay. She could have at least take the Popeye's chicken out the box and put it in a tin like Ashley did. You know what I mean? All right. So Ashley brings the catfish because of the running joke with Angel. Here's the thing. That happened in Nevis. That we've moved on from this, but now you're trying to be a producer. You've been trying to produce all season. Now just let the catfish go. All right? Kendra says the catfish didn't look good at all. I don't know where she got it from. I don't believe she cooked that either. I don't believe she cooked that. So, Ashley said she brought the catfish because of the running joke. She's like, I brought the catfish. Okay. So Kiarna calls Angel because apparently at this particular point, everyone's been there for like 2 hours and Angel hasn't arrived. So they call her and Angel's just like, she doesn't know her ETA. They ask again, do you know like when you're going to get here? Then you hear Bobby say, we get there when we get there. So Wendy's just like, oh, now we get there when we get there. And she's just like, oh my gosh, well, if y'all gonna come with that attitude, you can turn around and go back home. Oh, wait, you ain't got one. So here's the thing. Then Ashley, in her confessional, says and alludes that Bobby might have a temper. And I'm like, first of all, Bobby is so low key. Bobby is so flat affect. Bobby is just like, I didn't love that interaction with Bobby on the phone. However, to say that the man might have an anger problem, I was like, what in the Karen is happening right now? Don't inflate what just happened. You could say that he was rude. You could say, I didn't like that. I didn't like what he said. But don't say that he might have an anger problem. Did he sound angry to any of you? I was sort of like, I clutched my pearls a little bit like, damn, not Bobby being a little... But we have to keep in mind, Bobby has heard what these women have been saying about his wife. Okay? He rides for Angel. And it's not lost on me that them questioning where they're at, mind you, he's probably also frustrated because remember, they just moved. And I don't know if they already been back to Colorado or if they were coming back. Okay? Foxy says he was a bit grumpy. I don't feel like he's been grumpy. He seems like he's like, you know, just like, you know what I mean? A little sleepy. A little sleepy. Exact. Dina says, here they go making a man sound abusive. I just didn't like the words that Ashley used. Like he has a problem, like he has an anger problem. How do we get that from, yes, maybe you could say, I didn't like what he said. He sounded really rude by saying that. Okay? Crystal says he sounded frustrated. B, Anna says, that was weird of Ashley, especially if she doesn't know Bobby. And my thing is, and when they talked about it in the confession, I was just like, okay, so you really have not had a lot of interactions with Bobby to even say that he has a thing about being angry or might have an anger problem. I thought that was weird. Because she's like, oh, she was like, he has a temper on him. Okay, you ain't seen the temper. You know who really has a temper? And we've seen a pattern of that? Gollum. We've seen Gollum. We've seen him be belligerent. We've seen them blow up at each other at events. That's someone that seems to have a temper problem. So when I compare, that's what I'm saying. Like Bobby could have been rude in that moment. But if we're going to talk about someone having a temper problem, remember Gollum over the last few years? He has a temper problem. He has a fidelity problem. He's got a skin problem. He's got a colonizer problem. Like, okay. And I keep telling y'all, I'm seeing more and more. I'm like, oh, this is exactly what I've been saying why Ashley was with Gollum. She's very much like Gollum. Exactly. Ivy says Gollum even tried to fight Chris Bassett. Come on. Don't sit here and try and make the husband. I know. Oh, okay, Angel, I know you're watching, girl. Bring it up at the reunion. Bring up the fact that her ex-husband has a pattern of with a temper. Let them know that you didn't like that he had that to say. I will say this, though, Angel. It feels like you're a confessional gangster. Ain't nothing wrong with that. A lot of these folks on multiple shows are confessional gangsters. I just hope you're able to bring it during the reunion. I really do hope that you're able to bring it during the reunion. Because that will be the only reason. The reunion will be whether or not you should come back next season. Ain't Kiarna? Sorry, girl. Sorry. And I kind of want to see Angel without Kiarna on the show. Myra says that part, Kempire. Ashley is so much like her ex-husband. Right? Guys, we're almost at 1,000 likes. It looks like threatening you guys works. We have over 2,000 people. Come on, we can get to 1,000 likes. Melissa, thank you so much for the super chat. Melissa says Wendy's mom is giving Nigerian Janice Combs. I can't even get it out. Damn, Melissa. Life of Samad. Thank you so much for the super chat, Samad, and for being a member. Says Kay said on season 9 at Karen's event that she don't do dairy. Oh, okay. I'm mad that y'all remember that. RC, thank you so much for the super chat. But again, going back to that moment, you don't have to have dairy. Okay. RC says, and I would eat anything from Ashley's salt and pepper seasoned free kitchen with her kids' bare feet all over her counters. Nope. That's why I never eat, especially because I consider this a work event. I don't like potluck work events unless I really know you and we're like friends and I know that you washing your hands and stuff like that and you're not having, feet on the counter and you're not wiping that counter down. I wouldn't eat that catfish either. Did you see anyone eating the catfish? Just saying. Thank you, RC. Scarlett, thank you so much for the super chat. Scarlett says, I want Angel to address these ladies on site when they disrespect her, not with fake smiles and elaborate words. Maybe she will in her second season, but some of y'all don't want to see her in the second season. Kendra, thank you so much for another super chat. Kendra says, Ashley likes throwing out unfounded allegations, but when her ex was doing it, he was passionate. The goalpost is always moving. Those kids' feet on the counter was bothering me. We've talked about it. We've definitely talked about it. Danny says, I don't like any potluck, work or otherwise. I don't mind a potluck if it's with like close friends, close friends. Close friends. Okay. All right. Moving on before we get to our callers, guys. We're talking about the Real Housewives of Potomac's latest episode, season 10, episode 11, if you're part of the replay crew. Be sure to let us know your thoughts and opinions on our recap, but also the episode as well, and how you would rate the episode. All right. Miss Brooklyn Diamond says, I do not do potlucks at work or any communal food at work. People do not wash their hands, have pets on counters, etc. You're right. Hey, Winnie. Winnie says, love your show, Kempire. I watch each one from Kenya. What's going on? I love that. Thank you so much, Winnie. That's another place I would like to visit, Kenya. Superstar 7 says, nobody wants Ashley's catfish, literally or figuratively. Did y'all see what Angel said about Ashley's fish during the after show? She said it was giving stank fish. That's what she said in the after show about Ashley's cooch. All right. Moving on. So we have that moment. All right. Stacy brings Timo, not Timu, Timo, and not Timal. Timo. She brings Timo, and Giselle's like, oh. If anything, they proved Stacy's point as to why Timo might be uncomfortable coming around this group. Because they immediately talked about how he looked. They talked about just everything about him. Like, oh, he's here. So now it made even more sense. They just keep proving Stacy's point. Why she didn't want to bring him around. And here's the thing. I think he honestly does not want to film. I think that Stacy had a conversation with him about filming the season. He's like, I'll film with you, but I don't know about filming with group scenes and things like that. I think they may have had a conversation about this. He's like, I'll support you in what you're doing, but I really do not want to do this. You could tell he's uncomfortable. Okay. And a lot of these people do not get his German sense of humor. And we've talked about this before. So I completely get it. But immediately when he's there, they're talking about his name. They're talking about how he looks. Fine. Mind you, he's just there trying to interact, trying to make the most of the event. What did you guys think of Stacy's potato salad? I mean, based on what we saw. But did you guys notice when Cameron says, ew, what is that? And poor Arabella, she was like, it's potato salad. I love potato salad. They flash back to, because Stacy claims that she's a really good cook. And they flash back to a scene with her and AJ. And apparently she made, what did she make? She made peach cobbler. I was glad she told us what it was, because I was like, what exactly is that we're looking at when they flash back? What is that? All right. She's like, this is peach cobbler. And Age is like, I don't know what that is. She's like, what is this brown part right here? So I think Stacy's in on the joke. She doesn't really know how to cook. I don't know if she found someone to help her make this or she followed a recipe. I think you can make a recipe, follow a recipe, and it can turn out good. But you have to test that recipe with yourself and other people to make sure that it's good. Okay? All right. So I don't know. The kids were looking at it. Cameron was just like, ew. Everybody's like, I like it. That's my... She didn't say her mama's potato salad, but I think she knew that. Dr. Do-It-Yourself says the potato salad did not look bad. I mean, it didn't look bad to me. That peach cobbler looked bad. That peach cobbler, right? It looked like cornbread. That peach cobbler, Takesha, that, I don't know what that was. I've seen peach cobbler before. I did not. Okay. Belisha says she put paprika on top. Miss says that cobbler was definitely not Detroit style cobbler. So you saying she bought it from somewhere? Very possible. Kendra says if they think Timo was, would they hate the older men in my family? If they don't look like they will not be jolly with you at all. All right, let me move on because I'm almost done with this scene because the pylon begins. All right. So the only reason that Stacy says that she brought Timo was because of her friendship with Wendy, which is interesting because it was it last week's episode or the previous week's episode? That the reason why she didn't bring Timo to the dinner with Wendy and Eddie and Tia and her husband was because of what happened with Wendy and Eddie at the reunion. We know that their friendship has come a long way, and we're watching an edited show. But I have to point out things that stand out to me. And it does stand out to me, well, before, the reason why you weren't bringing Timo was around because you weren't comfortable 100% with Wendy. But now the only reason why you're bringing Timo around is because of your newfound friendship with Wendy? Possible. I just have to point it out because we're talking about it, right? All right. All right. So then they make their announcements about who brought what. So Wendy's making the announcement, and then you see Giselle go up behind Wendy, and Ashley did the catfish. So Wendy then says, and Ashley did the catfish. Catfish. At this particular point, Angel and Bobby have arrived. They're saying hello to everyone. Bobby does seem annoyed. Angel seems open, but Bobby does definitely seem annoyed. So when Wendy goes up there and she's like, and Ashley brought the catfish. Look, Wendy, I'm looking at you with the side eye too. Because, I froze. Not meaning the catfish. I did not change the wire. Shut up. I did not change the wire. The catfish. Hold on, y'all. Let me move this. Let me take the sip. Oh, happy holidays, gays. Happy holidays, gays? No. Well, yeah, happy holidays to the gays, too. Let me sit back up in my chair. Oh, there we go. Happy Hanukkah. Kendra says, change the wire, sir. No. Okay? If we get to 1,000 likes, no. Queenie, thank you so much for the super chat. Queenie says, Ashley and Jiz can't help but come for the husband. Stacey's doing the right thing, keeping Timo out of their clutches. I agree. Rachel, shush. Rachel says, that frozen face. Fix that face. It was giving Kiarna. Dr. Ed says, the wire is the catfish. Mind you, I do have it's not even the wire that needs to be changed. I think it's the mechanism that connects the two wires. Lakia says, if you don't change that wire, Camp, what you gonna do? Jen Falala says, wire 7, Kemp 0. Ivy says, you trim the tree, but you won't change the wire cam. At this particular point, I'm just doing it for the giggles. At this particular point. And if you're listening to the podcast version of this, I froze. That's why everyone is making a joke about my wire. And it's not because I'm ocho cinco cheap. I'm just like, I have the wired thing to change. I'm going to change it at some particular point for the new year. Yay! For the new year. Your agent Keela, thank you so much for another super chat. Timo is Ashley's type. That's why she's mad. It's Timo, but yes. Yes. Maybe that is what it is. Okay, we're almost at 900 likes, guys. That means we can definitely get to 1,000 likes. If you're a member of the channel, I've already dropped the call link for you guys on the post tab here on YouTube. Let me drop the call link for our Twitch fam. Twitch fam, I'm going to drop the call link for you guys too. Okay, Twitch fam, I just dropped the call link for you guys. And live chat, we will drop the call link for YouTube once we get to 1,000 likes. All right, so Wendy emphasizes Ashley brought the catfish. If she just said that Ashley brought the catfish, I would have been like, fine. However, Jen Paula Virgo and me is going crazy. I'm kind of doing it to trigger the Virgos. Whatever. But Wendy said it again, just to emphasize. And then the camera pans to Angel. And at this particular point, are we still talking about what happened in Nevis weeks ago? Okay, so I'm just like I felt for her in that particular moment. But in her confessionals, when she shouldn't have this energy, you should have this energy in the moment. In her confession, she's like, not you guys talking about me. And then she starts talking about the event, and she's like half rented space. And I mean, she's right. She's not wrong. Okay. So she mentions that, all right? So then the group starts questioning Angel about her having to move out, okay? And sidebar, then we have this little moment between Cameron and Stacy and Timo, because Arabella says, oh, Cameron, Wendy's daughter, has 4 phones. And Cameron's like, well, I have 3, and my daddy's going to get me a 4th one. Did she really mean like actual working phones? She has 3 phones. They were looking at like, why does she have 3 phones? So the insurance fraud of it all, I'm like, wait, are the 40 credit cards, are some of those in Cameron's name too? The nosy part of me, if we knew what we knew in that moment, I would be like, Cameron, you got any credit cards? Got any credit cards in your name, Cameron? Are these burner phones? And they just allow her to play with these phones? I had to ask, y'all. Right? Kids say the darndest things. She's like, she's got 3 phones, and her daddy's going to get her a 4th phone. I'm going to ask Cameron, is one of your names Pam Oliver? So from the 40 credit cards to the 4 phones, 4 degrees. Willie says, who knows, she's 5. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Okay, fine. All right. So the ladies start questioning Angel about this whole having to move out of the Airbnb. Okay. So y'all are messing with the chat. I'm trying not to look at the chat. So, we're used to moving. We're an NFL family. She loves saying that. I'm like, all right, fine. It's the way that Angel answers questions that I feel like that makes her look like she's hiding something. You know what I mean? So, Angel says that they had a short-term lease for this place, but they thought that they would be they'll be in a new home by then. Okay? All right. So then Tia jumps on the bandwagon and starts asking questions. Superstar Steven. That's where you can get the information from. It's from the children. So anyway, then Tia asks her, so were you supposed to leave on the 1st or the 12th? And then Angel's just like, well, I was supposed to leave. Oh, I don't actually remember. See, this is why, Angel, things do not land. It's not that I think that you're broke and you can't afford it. There's just something not 100%. And I don't know if it's the Pisces in you or something else. I don't know. Just asking. It's just the way that you responded to it. Okay, so they're all asking the questions. Then Ash is like, Angel, like, I just don't understand you as a mom that you would like drop the ball on something like that. Ashley, what you're saying doesn't make any sense to me, because the fact that she's a mom is the reason why she might have dropped the ball. She's got the kid. She's got mommy brain. She just had a kid a year ago. I could see it. I can see it's very possible. You thought you had this Airbnb for a period of time, and now you got to move out of the Airbnb. Okay? Anything is possible. Okay? But Ashley's excuse for it, I was like, Then all of a sudden, Wendy chimes in. I heard you were evicted. Okay, now that's a reach. It was not giving evicted. Okay? But now here comes Wendy throwing sauce on the situation. I heard that you were evicted. Was there an eviction notice? Did you see an eviction notice? Based off of that text message, the text message seemed as if the Airbnb, your time at the Airbnb has ended. You were a fantastic person. Now you got to leave. So Wendy says, I heard you evicted. The streets are saying that you were evicted. So the pylon was just giving like, oh my goodness. And you know, instantly when Wendy chimed in and said that, I can see Angel at the reunion saying to Wendy, like, you know what, Wendy? You ran with this whole narrative that I was evicted. I hear that you have 40 credit cards in other people's names. I heard you got multiple aliases. That's what the streets are saying. The streets are saying that you got 4 burner phones. The streets are saying that you got something from 1999 from Louis Vuitton, returned it back in 1999, but you claimed it on your insurance. That's what the streets are saying. I'm sorry. I'm just thinking, come the reunion, all of what you said. But again, I give Wendy a little bit of a pass because Angel doesn't seem to have the energy for Ashley or Giselle the way that she had the energy for Wendy. But I'm just saying, come the reunion, I hope you have a response for that. And no matter what Wendy says, she was like, well, that's not true. That's not true. Those are just allegations. She could say that. But again, Angel could be like, well, that's not true. I wasn't evicted. Okay? Instantly, when Wendy said, oh, I heard it was an eviction, I said, oh, the clap back on this at the reunion. And if she comes back next season, Angel, ain't gonna be good for you, Wendy. Ain't gonna be good for you. Ain't gonna be good for you. Just saying. Right? The V Life says, if I was Wendy, I'd be pissed all this came out before the reunion. Right? If only this came out after the reunion was filmed. Because that would have been perfect for Wendy. Wendy would have had a fantastic year. Okay? But here we are. Here we are. Your fine ass auntie. Thank you so much for the super chat. She says, hey, Kev, just wanted to show you some love for getting me through my Monday blues. Oh, not the Monday blues. Are you at the office? Yeah, I love your name, your fine ass auntie. Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. Hey, Rahina. Thank you for being a member for the super chat. Rahina says, hi, Kempire. Have to catch up. Miss being on live. You've been busy, huh? Well, apparently, based off the schedule for Real Housewives of Potomac, the next few episodes, they're not taking a break for the holidays. The break will come after Christmas. So there won't be a new episode after the 28th episode. There won't be a new episode until January the 11th. Mary J. Blige's birthday. Just fine. I just know that date. So we will have a little bit of a break. Well, we'll see. We'll probably still be around doing something, but yeah. Thank you so much, Know the Queen, for the super chat. Know the Queen says Kempire and his wire were my number one watch channel. Number one watch channel in 2025. Honestly, the jokes that you guys have on me, I I'm liking it. Look, come on now. Kendra, you got to be able to laugh at yourself. A lot of us tourists can't laugh at ourselves, okay? But you got to be able to laugh at yourself. I find it funny. Kendra, thank you so much for the super chat. Kendra says, I mean, Pam, you and Hennessy are catfishing times 10. Well, I'm just saying. Missy, thank you so much for this. The super chat. Missy says, they let Cam play with the phone so that they can blame her for the fraudulent charges. OMG. That's a good excuse, though. Not let the kid take the heat. Come on. Tamara from Montreal. Thank you so much for the super chat. Beautiful photo, Tamara. And thank you for being a member. Tamara says, in all fairness, Wendy's was doing so much because Angel was not fair to her. And I said that. I still give Wendy some grace because during the after show, she still points out, Wendy, she's like, do you notice that Ashley and Giselle have this energy for Angel, but she still has all this energy for me? I understand. But you know what I wouldn't do in this particular situation? I wouldn't add sauce to a situation if it's not needed. Because the truth in itself is enough. Like, damn, girl. Like, did you just get the house to film for the show? Like, you don't need to add sauce. You don't need to say that it was an eviction. All right. Thank you, Flip Guy, because I have the Threads posts. Flip Guy says, oof, Angel has spoken on Threads. I don't know if she's added since then, but this is what I got from earlier before I became live. So Angel said this on Threads. Angel says, her name is Angel Era. She says, I have read 1,000,001 lies about myself, stories people have made up to feed a need for whatever reason to believe I'm some person I'm not. I've stayed largely silent, but last night's episode takes the cake. Giselle is lying. Excuse me, y'all. Giselle is lying. She has no word on the street because no one knew her on the street before joining the show. Because remember, she's also from Maryland, Angel. Wendy's, quote, mutual friend, ? Yeah, that conversation never happened. I spoke with her. Lies.
Lies. The lie.
Ashley just needs to join in on a storyline. She then says, my family's wealth, ? I don't speak on it unless I'm asked by producers in confessionals. But the fact of the matter, none on this cast can compare. She's not lying. Let's be clear. Week after week, I am maligned, lied on by almost each member of this ensemble. And y'all expect me to do cartwheels in their presence? Get the F out of here. She says, I am me and will continue to be. It's not my problem that people have mistaken my calm for anything but that. Well, I hope you bring this energy at the reunion. She also said this. Let's be very clear. If I could have seen the cash-ish talked about me behind my back week after week, I would have moved different. But some of that mess was talked in front of your face too, Angel. And you were sitting there like this with a cracked face. Okay? So let's be clear. Like at this event, you could have easily confronted them. She says, my objective was to be cool with everyone, but the three witches wouldn't let up, and now I am done. Okay. I guess we'll see at the reunion, because the reunion is your Super Bowl. Okay? The one where your husband never won a ring. I'm sorry. Bobby, Bobby! I'm playing, but I'm not. I'm playing, but I'm not. I mean, it's a fact, but I'm just saying. I mean, without getting a ring, he still did very well for himself. It's funny because it's true. All right. Oh, we're almost at 1,000 likes. We're literally at 9,999, and now we're at 1,000 likes. I can drop the call. Okay, I'll drop the call link for you guys in a second. But our backstage is full with our members and our Twitch followers. Scarlett J, thank you so much for the super chat. Scarlett says Wendy better walk around with a thermal blanket all season because Karen, maybe Jizzy, and Ash too is going to work overtime to ice her out with them allegations. It will be interesting to see Karen's perspective. It'll be interesting to see how Karen will navigate this, especially with Karen really can't be holier than thou. If anything, she might surprise us next season, and her and Wendy will have a sit down and they'll be all good, and maybe she'll be on her side. You never know. Squirtle, thank you so much for another super chat. Squirtle says her sister wrote that. Angel didn't write that. Well, no, I can believe Angel could have written that. All right. Ariel says Bobby didn't deserve that stray. I'm sorry. Oh, wait, the tiny violin, I got to change the battery. Okay, the tiny violin wasn't great, y'all, because I've changed the battery since I've gotten it. And look, I got to change the battery again. So I'm going to have to change the battery. I'm sorry. Kendra says, we love when it's snowy in New York City because everyone catches strays in Club Kempire. Bobby, don't be mad at me. Now, next time if I run into Bobby, I'm going to have to run. And it's going to be y'all fault. So make sure someone's filming it. I'm going to run if I see Bobby. All right. No, I hope they're able to laugh at it. Because I've gone harder on so many other housewives. And if I've seen them, they've been really good about it. So... All right. Let me get to... Don't forget, guys, at 3 p.m. today, I will be recapping Married to Medicine at 3 p.m. Eastern. I can't be here long because I do want to be able to rewatch the episode. Dr. Contessa, girl. All right. Keep in mind the opinions of the callers do not represent the opinions of myself, the Kempire LLC, or our sponsors. All right? Everything that they say is alleged, and they agree not to use profanity, and they agree not to use derogatory statements, and respect our channel, and respect the timer more importantly, because I would like to get to everyone. If you run over the timer, that means people behind you do not get an opportunity to share their thoughts, and that's not fair. And if you have a pattern of doing that, I know how to say pattern. If you have a pattern of doing that, I'm going to block you. I'm not going to block you, but I'm going to take other calls before you. Okay. All right. Let's bring up Toya first. Let me bring up Toya. Toya, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Potomac?
Hi, Kempire.
Hey, how
Can you
are
hear
you?
me?
Yes.
Okay, good. I just wanted to say Angel and Kiana's press run is not working. They're not really doing a great job articulating themselves. They don't seem like they want to apologize and take ownership. But also the whole Angel thing, it doesn't make sense. Like, okay, it's fine.
Uh-oh. We lost you, Toya. Damn, Toya, you got T-Mobile? Damn. Please understand. If T-Mobile comes as a sponsor next year, y'all heard nothing. Okay? We've never said a bad thing about T-Mobile because T-Mobile's good in other states. Okay? Just not whatever state Toya's in. Because, Toya, we can't hear you still. Toya, call back in, girl. I will do it over for you. Cynthia, what did you want to share?
Hi, Kempire. How are you?
Oh, how you doing?
I'm good. Good episode. First of all, you know what? This episode, I kind of felt bad for Angel a little bit. I know she looked so embarrassed.
Yeah.
Even though she deserves it. But I mean, yeah, it definitely was a pile on. And speaking of next week's episode, I feel bad for Wendy because honestly, coming from a Nigerian as myself, you know, when my parents got divorced, you basically have to choose a side.
Really?
It's not, but yeah, we have to choose a side. It was a bad divorce to this day.
Wow.
Yeah.
We'll talk more about it next week.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you for letting us know. Thanks for letting us know.
Sure, no problem.
Bye.
Have a good day.
You too. Let me see. Did Angel Brandon probably can't get back in? All right. We'll bring you up, Angel, when I see you come backstage. All right. All right. Let me bring up Nia next. Nia, what's going on? Calling from Canada.
Hey, Kempire. So, controversial opinion, but I do think
fine.
Angel is a colorist. Giselle and Ashley, two light-skinned women, basically called her catfish to her face and pure silence. I think you're right, Kempire. She's just a strict, confessional gangster. And you had all this smoke for Wendy, a dark-skinned woman who just laughed at Giselle's comment. Like, I feel like she low-key puts light skins on like a pedestal and she's kind of like intimidated by them. And also, this is how you know the cast is really unlikable because Stacey is a whole liar and she's the only one liked and Wendy is just insurance fraud, allegedly Osefo.
Goodbye. Bye, Nia. Reminder, in regards to the colorism of it all, our friend, the Brooke Ashley, did an interview with Angel. Was it last week? So you can watch that on the Brooke Ashley's YouTube channel, the interview with Angel. So she does address, I'll put in quotes, address that comment. The Brooke Ashley asked her about it. All right, let's bring, and for those that call in, please drop out so other people can call in. I'm about to drop the call link for the general audience. Elle, my bell, what did you want to share?
Hey, Kempire. So I just want to say with the whole thing with the catfish, Ashley knew what she was doing. Angel didn't take the bait. She's exhausted. They're moving. And Wendy was like saying it over and over again. So she's putting some sauce on it. Like if she wants to be mad at Wendy, she has the right to be mad at Wendy. It's messed up. Mm-hmm. But anyway, I just wanted to say, as somebody who is definitely allergic, I have a definitely allergic seafood allergy. I just appreciate it, especially if I'm one-on-one with someone and they're not we're trying to make amends or get somewhere, that they don't order something that I have to be hyper vigilant that I don't ingest. Oh. Because I will die. I get it.
Oh, no, you're right. All right. Thanks so much, Elle. I just feel like a fish allergy might be a little bit different than like a dairy allergy. But I mean, in all fairness, you know, just in case the cheese, you know, jumps into your plate somehow. You know what I mean? Like sometimes when people are eating. All right. Duchess D, what did you want to share in regards to Real Housewives of Potomac?
Just very quickly, you are also number one on my YouTube Rewind for the year. So thank you so much for bringing me so much joy.
Thank you.
Very quickly, Angel, if you're watching, if you can hear this, keep that same energy at the reunion that you have for the girls behind their back. Specifically, if you want to win some of the viewers over, keep that same energy for Ashley because we don't like her. Come for Ashley, just please.
Focus
I beg you.
Ashley.
And Bobby, if you are going to show up to the reunion, you should stand behind Angel. Study how Greg Leaks was behind Nene at every reunion because that's what you need to do for your woman. She's not doing great, but she needs somebody there to defend her but not do the most. Mm-hmm. And that's all I got for them too.
Thanks, Duchess D. That was great advice. I agree. Study Greg. Don't get into a fight with the ladies. Just be strong. And when they ask you a question, answer the question. That's it. Because you know they were probably going to ask him about him saying we'll get there when we get there. Please have an answer for that. A clear, understandable answer. You know, we were frustrated. We were moving. It was no offense to the ladies. I didn't realize that they could hear me. That's it. All right. Let's bring up Angel W. Angel W., what's going on?
Hey, Kempire, between that wire and the tiny violin, they are just trying to sabotage all of our fun. What is going on with it? But so for Wendy, the scene with Cameron, it totally pulled on my heartstrings in real time because of everything that they're doing. And it's making me side-eye all of the confessionals when she's talking so much about money. Because I don't know. I have no words for Wendy. And then Ashley, that catfish backfired because catfish, sorry for anyone who eats them, they're bottom feeders. They make me sick. So that was so appropriate for Ashley. And that's all I got to say about that.
Thank you, Angel. All right. Miss Bernice is backstage. Miss Bernice, what's going on?
Hey. What up, though? How you doing today, everybody?
Wait, Miss Bernice, I'm giving you extra time. Miss Bernice, the Stacy's, first of all, her peach cobbler and her potato salad, was that Detroit? Miss Bernice, are you there? I can't hear you. Uh-oh, I can't hear you, Miss Bernice. What happened? Miss Bernice, you got T-Mobile. I can't hear Miss Bernice. Miss Bernice, do me a favor. Drop out and then call back in. Because some reason, I mean, sometimes that happens. Oh, wait. Miss Bernice, are you there?
Can you hear me now?
Now I can hear you.
Okay.
Did you hear my question about the peach cobbler and the potato salad?
Yes, because that the peach cobbler, no. Oh. Potato salad, yes, because she had paprika, mustard, eggs, Miracle Whip.
Oh. Okay. All right.
And sweet rice. That's it. That's all what potato salad is. And potatoes. Come on now, people. You don't take a rocket science. And for Ashley, black people, public service announcement, black people do not put fruit in their potato salad. So you never see no raisins, you never see no grapes in a foundational black person, a black person in America put that in their potato salad. Okay, I digress. Woosah. Ashley and Giselle are going to be the downfall of this franchise because they always insinuate the worst on the men. They're always going after the husband. And they make their little snide remarks. And then they try to make some truth out of it. And they use it as attack mode to take down the husband. She did it with Chris. With that, I felt unsafe. But you could never tell me what he did. Come on, people.
Okay. All right, Miss Bernice.
That's about it.
Thank you for calling in.
I call back when you do
Married to Medicine. Okay. See you then.
I got a whole lot to say about that. Yeah, okay, bye-bye.
Me too. Bye. All right. Let me see. Hold on. I just wanted to see if Toya called. Oh, there goes Toya. Hold on. Toya, are you there?
Yes, thank you so much, Kempire.
No problem. What's going on?
I was driving through a tunnel and my husband called me. Just awful. Okay.
How dare he?
Yes. So I just wanted to say, Angel and Kiana are doing their press run, and I don't think they will do good at the reunion because they're not doing good in their press interviews.
Yeah.
I love the Brooke Ashley down. That's my girl in my head. But I don't think that Angel really did a good job at explaining herself. She just had more excuses. Her situation, like, okay, you should have known they weren't going to stop filming at a certain point. So why not extend it or find another Airbnb? Like, it makes sense. I don't think she was evicted. I think it was like an Airbnb. But why not find another one if y'all, got you didn't have to bring furniture. It was already there. Just move your clothes to a new place.
Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't make any sense.
Or at least just make a joke about it, too. Like, girl, we got kicked out of our Airbnb, but we're at the next one. That's even better.
And I would have ate that catfish. I would have been like, ooh, catfish, my favorite.
I don't like catfish, but yeah.
Me either. I don't, but I would have lied and pretended because they were trying to be shady. Thank you, Kempire.
Thank you so much, Toya. Take care. Yeah, you're right. I didn't even think about that because I've seen a few of their interviews in this moment, and we've talked about it, that even right now they're not able to give us a clear understanding as to why we should be on their side. And it's not just editing. So I can't even tell you that the reunion is going to be good for them. But okay. All right. Let me say thank you, and then we'll get to some more callers because I got to get out of here. Let me rush through these. Bernice, thank you so much for the super chat. She says, hey, community, the other Bernice here. Kempire is my number one. Thank you, Bernice. Bernice from New York. From the Bronx, the Boogie Down Bronx. Courtney, thank you for another super chat. Courtney says, the way I choked on my soup with the T-Mobile shade, stop. If you're new here, it's just a running joke. Please understand. We don't think there's anything wrong with T-Mobile. Damn.
Lies! The lie!
Nota Queen, thank you for the super chat. Nota Queen says, as a light bright, Angel's response to the colorism accusations only confirmed her colorism for me. Yeah. Queenie, thank you so much for the super chat. Queenie says, Jiz and Ashley equal Regina George and Gretchen. I don't think it's colorism. I think Angel wants to be in the sorority and knows they don't actually like Wendy. This just goes back to what I said about how they handled the conversation of colorism and how they dropped the ball. I think they really did not handle that conversation well, and that's why it's always going to seep its ugly head into this cast. Shay says, Kempire Daily, T maybe? Not T maybe. All right. Excuse me. All right, let me take these calls. We have a long line. All right, everyone, please respect the timer so that we can get to everyone. Taurus with the T, what's going on?
Hey, Cam.
Hey.
I just wanted to say, Angel girl, you are disappointing me. You're making Kim Zolciak look like a better wag than you are on this show, and it is quite embarrassing. For Wendy, I felt really sorry for Wendy and not seeing with her mom. As someone being from the Caribbean and having two Caribbean parents, you do have to set your limits and boundaries with them because you will grow up to find yourself being almost 50 years old and your parents still talking to you like they're crazy, and you're gonna have to set that boundary, or else you'll be crying on TV just by your mom telling you to shut the F up, which would not be happening in my house. Bye, Cam.
Bye, Taurus with the T. Taurus with the T, who are your parents from?
My mom is from Puerto Rico and my dad is from the Dominican Republic, and I'm from St. Croix.
Oh, wow.
But
Okay.
my mom would not be telling me to shut the F up on TV. Because cut, Mom, we need to go in the next room. No, you cannot do that.
Cut. All right. Thanks, Doris, with the tea. Bye. And look, the Caribbean massive. There's a lot of common denominators in the Caribbean family. Keith, what's going on? What did you want to share about Real Housewives of Potomac?
Hey, Kempire.
Hey.
So first of all, Andrew, just for this one quick second, get next to me, okay? Because I'm about to defend you. Now, Ashley, you had some nerve calling anybody husband aggressive. I mean, didn't your husband kick you out of your condo so you had to go and stay with your mom and your drunk stepfather? Yeah, I think that's pretty aggressive if you ask me. Now, Angel, get from next to me and stand in front of me, okay? Because I'm about to get you together. Because you have some nerve to be such a confessional gangster, but in these scenes, you're all of a sudden quiet, and it's giving your rewriter rhythm to prep before you enter these scenes, and it's quite sad. Good luck, babe, but I don't see you lasting another few episodes. Bye.
Thank you. All right. Miss Sharon's backstage. We'll bring Miss Sharon up next. Miss Sharon, what's going on?
Hey, Kempire, how you doing?
Oh, well, how are you? Uh-oh.
I'm doing fine today.
I froze again.
You sure did. I see you. You just there. Now you're gone.
Not twice in a live. Uh-oh. I got to change that Y. The Y is going, y'all. The Y is going.
Oh, my.
Go ahead, Miss Sharon.
You know what? I'm going to tell y'all a secret, and don't y'all ever tell anybody. I am 64 years old, and I did not start eating catfish until I was in my 40s. I stopped eating it when I was 5 years old. And coleslaw.
Okay.
Her catfish set me back to my age 5. If I would have tried it, I would never eat catfish again. That catfish looked dead.
Well, I hope it was.
I mean, dead. Y'all know what I mean when I say dead? I mean, it looked dead. I bet it didn't have no seasoning on it.
Oh, my God.
I don't care how much hot sauce you put on it, it would have still been dead.
Okay.
I wouldn't have ate that crap. Oh, and also, for all of you people who work in offices, don't eat anybody's food except for your own. Trust me. Half of my office, when I used to work for corrections, got food poisoning.
Oh, God. Okay.
Yes.
All right, Miss Sharon, we got to go. We got a long line.
All right. Talk to you later.
Thanks for sharing.
Bye.
Bye. Hold on. TJ says, Wire 8, Kemp 0. Oh, my God. Now y'all going to keep count? Y'all going to keep count? Courtney, thank you for the super chat. Courtney says, I'm team no one, but team Verizon. Same Courtney. Sorry. Simply V, thank you so much for the super chat for being my happy holidays, Kempire. Happy holidays to you too, V. DV, thank you so much for the super chat. DV says, this season makes me miss the back and forth between Karen and Robin. Bring back the OGs. Yeah, those back and forths were actually entertaining because they would be back and forth. You know what I mean? Thank you so much. I mean, you can watch them on YouTube because people have put those kinds of videos together, including Bravo. Bravo puts together videos like that. Tamara, thank you so much for another super chat. Tamara says, the Caribbean, yes, you will always be a child, but shut the F up, never. That pulled on my heartstrings. Yeah. All right. Thank you guys so much for all the super chats, the Venmos, the Cash Apps, everything like that. I see those after the live, but it's always a nice little pleasant surprise when I go into my Cash App or my Venmo or my PayPal. I was like, oh, I got a little change. I can go get lunch. Okay. All right. Speaking of lunch, what I'm going to eat before this next live. All right, let me get to the rest of these callers. Did I drop the call link for the general audience? I'll drop it again. I forgot. I couldn't remember if I did or not. All right, Miss Brooklyn Diamond's backstage. We're going to bring her up next. Thank you so much for the gifting of the memberships.
Hi, everybody. I just want to say, to start with Wendy and her mom and that scene from the next episode, I think her mom literally forgot the cameras were there because it seemed they were arguing over her dad.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, like, when you get into that type of heated argument, sometimes you do lose your surroundings. The other thing I want to say is, I'm sorry, the whole house thing with Angel gives me the impression that they were not really moved there, and she just got the dates mixed up for filming. And everybody coming after, I'm not a Giselle apologist, and I'm not a fan of Wendy's either, but everybody's coming after Giselle. Giselle said catfish once. Wendy and Ashley are the ones who keep carrying it. Giselle never brought it back up. So, like, let's place accountability where the accountability needs to be. Giselle had nothing to do with that Wendy situation.
Okay. Thanks, Ms. Brooklyn Diamond. All right. April Aries, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Potomac?
Hi, Kempire.
Hey.
You have been keeping me like company today because your girl is under the weather, but y'all have been amazing, making me laugh. I know, and I have to fly somewhere Wednesday, but let me get to why we're here. So I feel like
Zinc.
Yes, this episode set up how everybody's a liar. That's what I feel like. And Jassy, right, clocked Tia because she is a bone carrier and she twerks on the fence. She likes to feign innocence. But if you're a fan of Angel, then why are you running to go spill the tea to the person that called her catfish? Like, girl, come on, you're doing the most. It's not mathing. So I'm going to see how she's going to explain that at the reunion. Have a good day, Kempire.
You too, April Aries. She did that in under 30 seconds. I love it. All right. Let's bring up Know the Queen. Know the Queen, what did you want to share?
Hey, Kempire, coming at you from T-Mobile.
It sounded clear, too. Go ahead.
I want to say, I think that if Karen is going to go on her little hobo tour when she gets back about her reformation, she needs to make up with Wendy just to show that she's able to move on and forgive and forget. Not necessarily because I actually believe she'll see it for Wendy. Also, Angel needs to stop letting her embarrassment paralyze her, because that's why she keeps getting into these situations. It's getting on my nerves, and that's what's make her not a good housewife. Also, if you don't know what she said on Brooke's interview, watch the interview. But yeah, her interview kind of solidified it for me that the condescending nature of it and everything. Come on now. Also, real quick, are you going to do a recap of season 5 now that all the Monique and Candace stuff is coming out? Like a rewatch recap? Are you thinking about it?
I'm frozen. No. I don't know. I don't know if I have the time, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
We have a lot coming up. So we'll see. Maybe at some particular point we will, because, we do have our new series that we've been doing. We just recapped season 6 of Real Housewives of Atlanta. I just don't know. When we have a little bit of a lull in Housewives stuff, recaps, and then possibly.
Okay.
Thank you, Know the Queen. All right. Marilyn is backstage. Marilyn, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Potomac?
Hi, Kempire. How are you?
Oh, how are you?
Bonjour from Mauritius and to everyone. My statements are everyone on the cast is a liar. They need to stop with all of this mess. It also would be really funny if during the reunion, the OGs were on one couch and the newbies were on another, and all the husbands are behind all the new guys. And be like, aren't we the housewives and y'all are just nobodies? That's it for me.
Oh, okay. Thanks so much, Marilyn. From Mauritius. Oh, wow. All right. All right, guys, keep liking the video if you haven't already. Thank you so much for the super chats, Wave Keith. Thank you for another super chat, Keith, and for being a member. Keith says, Susan would have been kicked out my house telling me to shut the F up. Angel doesn't have access to the money, so I doubt she has access to the Airbnb account. Oh, man. Izzy, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. Izzy says, I try to give first season housewife slack, but Angel needs to stand on her own 2 feet and stop letting Kay lead her astray. Being a confessional gangster but mute in person does not a personality make. I agree with that. Again, the reunion will either solidify it, but based off these interviews. All right, Keela's backstage. I'm going to bring Keela up next. Keela, what did you want to share?
Hey, I have an unpopular opinion.
That's
okay.
Fine.
So my boys go to a private school with a lot of professional athletes' children, and I've watched how these wags interact with each other. I don't think it's colorism. I think that Angel has tapped into this false hierarchy that's within housewives. And she's convinced herself that Giselle and Ashley are like the head ones. So she's not going to attack them, even though she knows they're wrong. She's going to go after their little toady. And she deems Wendy to be on her level. Because in the NFL, her husband, while he was a veteran, he was not a star player. He was not a top earner. So she was in the middle ground, right? So I see it with the wives at my boys' school, like the top players' wives are really messy, but they won't ever call them out on their stuff. They call out the top players' wives' friends because it is a hierarchy within the NFL. And she's just carried that onto housewives, but she doesn't know she's in the wrong. She's just living how she lives life.
That's a good perspective to look at. Okay. All right.
Yeah, that's it. But happy holidays. Have a good one.
You too, Keila. Thanks for sharing. I think that's important to note, especially because she's brought it up so much. So I feel like that's her personality. So that's a good way for us, especially with my psychology degree, to kind of think about like, oh, I never thought about it that way. Thank you for that, Keila. All right. Scarlett J's backstage. Scarlett J, what did you want to share? Scarlett, you're muted.
Oh, sorry, Kem.
That's okay.
How you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm going to give you my 6-month update next year from the tarot reading from the live the other day. I loved it so much.
Oh, yes. If you remember, if you remember, we had a little bit of a tarot reading for our members exclusively, so you can watch the replay of that if you remember. Go ahead, Scarlett.
Yes. So I just want to say that Angel reminds me of, I don't know if I'm like kind of like looking at her as myself, but you know how you have that confidence or that lack of confidence after you had a baby and you're still trying to find your footing as a mom and all that stuff. Angel just reads to me as somebody who really needs to understand herself and build up that confidence that she had before she became a mom, because it's oozing out in these shows, in these episodes where she's not able to speak up for herself. And people like Jizzy and Ashley, they're just easy reads, but she doesn't understand that. So she just needs to find her confidence.
Thanks, Scarlett. All
no problem.
All right, Melissa, what's going on? What did you want to share?
Hi, guys. Okay, real quick. Angel has made it very clear on the Brooke Ashley's interview that at the after show that Wendy and her had a moment at her house, and Wendy said that I started when I gave birth, and I basically got you. I think Angel definitely took that to heart, because if we're starting from the beginning, when Kiana talked about Wendy's kids being sick, Angel stood up and said, well, did you ask about her kids? So I think at the Preakness, she was caught off by Wendy. And fast forward to the catfish thing, Wendy cackled, and Wendy cackled loud. Wendy had been gossiping about Angel to Giselle, about if she graduated, and about her house situation. Talking about this episode when the guys brought up the catfish, and Wendy emphasized catfish, and the streets were saying you don't have a house, or you were. I just think that it would have been best if Angel would have had a sit down with Wendy and told her how she felt. That would have nipped everything in the bud. Thank you.
Thanks, Melissa. That's true. We just saw in this week's episode a sit down between Stacey and Kiana. What we probably really do need is a sit down between Wendy and Angel. All right, let's bring up Arjun. Arjun, what did you want to share?
Oh, I was gonna say, Cookie, can you accept my request on Instagram? It's been 3 weeks. She hasn't accepted mine. So there's that.
Oh.
Yeah, I like Cookie. I want to see more of her life. Also, Kiana is allergic to cheese. We found out that last season at Karen's party when Jacqueline, I think that's her name, that brought 8 balloons. So I think it was that. Also, Tia's accent, I think, is really strong. That's what it is. I think she went to boarding school or private school. That's why her accent is really, really strong. Okay. I think she must have gone to a private or boarding school. That's why her accent is really strong. But it's there. Her accent is there. I gotta say that. That's all.
Okay.
Bye.
Thanks, Arjun. Yeah, I don't. Everybody's running with this narrative that they don't think that Tia's accent is real, but I do. I believe it's real. All right, let's bring up Cocoa Puff, our final caller. Cocoa Puff, what did you want to share? You're muted, Cocoa Puff. Cocoa Puff, are you there? Cocoa Puff, are you there? I can't hear you, Cocoa Puff. All right, I guess Cocoa Puff didn't want to call in to say anything. Maybe not. Maybe. Okay. It's all right. Anyway, thank you to everyone that called in. Thank you to everyone that sent in a super chat. If you haven't liked the video already, be sure to like the video. Shout out to everyone that called in to share their thoughts and opinions. And shout out to everyone that shared their thoughts and opinions in the live chat. Shout out to those of you watching on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, here on YouTube. We appreciate you. And if you're watching the replay, be sure to let us know where you're watching from, the temperature there, and your thoughts on this week's episode of The Real Housewives of Potomac. My final thoughts, I really have none. I will see you guys for the Married to Medicine recap at 3 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to go rewatch last night's episode because I do have a few thoughts. I still have some strong opinions about how this season's going. I know it's only episode 3, but I'm just like, aren't we tired? Aren't we tired? Just saying. All right. Thank you to our Kings and Guards. Thank you to our channel members. Thank you to our subscribers. And if you haven't become a subscriber, why not? Help us get to 600,000 subscribers. We're very, very close. Help us be, well, we're close also to 1 million subscribers. So if you've been following the channel for a very long time, subscribe today. Okay? And turn on your notifications so you don't miss out on anything that might be happening here on the channel. All right? I will see you all in the next one. Bye, y'all. Thanks for tuning in to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio Network. Don't forget to give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. And for more information on the podcast, head on over to KempireRadio.com.